Just 2 days before allegedly stabbing her manager to death inside a Detroit McDonald's, Afeni Muhammad posted that very angry Instagram rant. And now that video is at the center of a murder case that prosecutors say was premeditated. Welcome back to the Criminal Minds.
Somebody will have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair. It isn't funny at all. So, she could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. It ain't.
Now, that was the Instagram video that has made prosecutors say it was premeditated, and that was followed by what could be perceived as a foreboding warning. By Thursday, July 10th, 2025, those words became a horrifying reality because a 26-year-old is now accused of ambushing her manager, 39-year-old Jennifer Harris, at the 9mm Road McDonald's in Detroit, stabbing her up to 15 times with a kitchen knife in a brutal attack that prosecutors are saying is a premeditated murder. How did this all start? Let me take you through how all of this apparent violence unfolded. This was just before 8 a.m. on July 10th. Jennifer Harris, this longtime manager at the East Point McDonald's, sent Afeni Muhammad home early following this heated argument that detectives say was sparked by Muhammad not performing her work duties. Now, Muhammad did go home, but not before reportedly saying to Harris, "I'll be back." And apparently she wasn't lying because after being dismissed, police say alleged that Muhammad drove to a nearby park. But instead of cooling off, she made a fateful decision. Allegedly retrieving a kitchen knife from her car, Muhammad returned to the quick service chain. But this time, prosecutors say she wore a hooded mask over her face to conceal her identity, slipped through the back employee entrance, and what happened next was horrific, and according to prosecutors, was nothing short of savage. Muhammad allegedly ambushed Harris, stabbing her repeatedly in a frenzied attack. Co-workers scrambled to help Harris, but the damage was too severe. She was rushed to a hospital, and sadly, she later succumbed to her injuries.
Somebody will have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair. It isn't funny at all. So, she could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. There's a lot of negative energy in there. Nobody's perfect. It's McDonald's. It happens. You know what I mean? Sometimes, somebody might get confused. So it gets busy, yeah. But she needs to stop playing like she don't be making mistakes. I've been catching her.
What does she mean? By somebody is going to something about that, and it's going to catch up with her. She also said she brings a lot of negative energy in there. Was that the reason she stabbed her 15 times? We know that we can't be friends with everyone at work, and managers can be very annoying sometimes. But that doesn't mean we should harm them or even kill them. According to police, a customer who was waiting in the McDonald's drive-thru heard this commotion inside, happened to be legally carrying a firearm. Acting quickly, he fired a warning shot, which caused Muhammad, or allegedly Muhammad, to drop. The knife flee the restaurant. The customer then followed her, held her apparently at gunpoint in the parking lot until police arrived again, potentially preventing further bloodshed.
Prior to the stabbing, Muhammad was sent home by Harris for not performing her work duties and told Harris, "I'll be back." Muhammad was arrested on scene and the knife was recovered. Muhammad admitted that she intended to kill Harris and stated that after she was sent home, she drove to a nearby park, decided to come back and stab Harris with a knife that she had inside of her vehicle. When Muhammad returned to stab Harris, she entered the back entrance with a hooded mask over her face in an attempt to conceal her identity and attempted to flee the scene after the stabbing, but was stopped by an armed customer.
What will the defense say? That she was angry, or she was only venting on social media? If she was really planning to kill her manager, why would she post something like this for the world to see? Do you think these will be a possible defense argument? On Friday, July 11th, Muhammad was charged with a first-degree murder and carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent.
It was an extremely abusive relationship that was not only mental but physical, that involved alcohol issues, which is where the habitual second stems from, and her prior record. But at this time, Your Honor, we are asking the court to consider a bond in this manner that is appropriate, that my client can meet so that she can meet with her attorneys and prepare her for.
After saying all this that we heard from her defense team, the prosecutors pushed back and said that the nature of the crime left no room for mitigation, And also they disclosed that Muhammad had a previous incident involving a stabbing in March 2022 of one count of unlawful stabbing, wounding, or cutting without malicious intent. And at that time, she received a suspended sentence of 4 years in prison and served 1 year in probation instead, according to Detroit News.
She entered a public building with other individuals, other employees that were present. She produced a weapon that was a knife longer than 3 inches, and she stabbed the victim multiple times, up to possibly as many as 15 times, eventually causing her death. She then ran from the building to her vehicle, presumably with the intent to flee from the scene. She was stopped by a helpful bystander. And then finally, the defendant does have a prior instance of at least one that I'm aware that involved a stabbing, similar obviously to the stabbing that occurred in this case, involving a knife. So given all of those factors, and given the fact that this court does have authority to give no bond to defendants charged with murder, I am asking at this time for no bond in this case.
According to court records, talking about the legal case, Muhammad has a probable cause conference set for July 23rd, a preliminary examination on the 30th. So, at these proceedings, the prosecution is really going to lay out their evidence that they believe shows probable cause that Muhammad committed this allegedly horrendous act. They will call witnesses, including detectives, possibly even co-workers from McDonald's, to discuss a kind of dispute that had been building and escalating in this case. It's left for the judge will determine whether there's probable cause to have a trial or make sure the charge stands and have the case proceed to trial based on a report so far. It's looking pretty strong that there is probable cause here. It's a relatively low standard. What happens to the Harris family? They are in mourning. The McDonald's remains closed. A GoFundMe has been launched by Harris's family to help support her children. And according to prosecutors, she was a mother of 6. She had worked at that McDonald's for 15 years. And part of the GoFundMe reads, through this fund, Jennifer's legacy of strength, compassion, and dedication will continue to guide and uplift her children. Resources from the trust will be used to support their educational journeys from early learning through higher education, as well as their overall well-being and personal development as they grow into adulthood. The Jennifer Harris Legacy Fund is a reflection of her lifelong commitment to family opportunity and a belief in a bright future. It ensures that her children are surrounded by the care, guidance, and support they need to thrive, and that her spirit will continue to shape their lives for years to come. The family have to grapple with this loss, and now they have to go through the legal case, which can be quite difficult for them, particularly if the defense is going to be raising certain points of defense that obviously they may not agree with, and that might be difficult for them. One of the children, in her interview, said, "My mom died providing for her kids, going to work every day trying to make a better life for them." Now, the defense has sort of cast Ms. Harris as a bully, and there's probably going to be more of that. There's probably going to be more allegations that the alleged victim was, a heavy-handed boss and mistreated her employees, whether that's true or not. And so, it's going to be painful and probably unsatisfying at the end. Nothing through the legal process will bring their mother back. What do you think this case will turn out to? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button. We will be bringing you updates about this case as it unfolds.